Hi everyone, I'm Jenny and I am the instructor for a lot of our app-led classes in the Technical Education Division at SCC. I'm an English teacher by trade and training. You'll normally see me in person throughout the fall, winter, spring quarters. Summertime, I'm typically working elsewhere part-time and then maybe part-time at campus. So I'm not around as much, but I look forward to meeting with you, engaging with you. If you're seeing this video, you're probably taking a class online. So I just wanted to informally introduce myself and welcome you to that course. Quick overview, how to navigate the course. I'm going to do a screen share and just show you, if you go into Canvas, you'll click on the class. I keep it very simple for students. It might look scary for a minute here from the teacher view. I typically have, I'll do a quick scroll through, a ton of stuff accessible in any Canvas course. But if you go to a student view and you're looking at it as a student, you typically will see 5 or 6 things on day one, okay? You'll see an opening module if you go to the home screen. So click on whatever the course is, go to the home screen. It should take you to the home screen, but if it doesn't, just click on home. You'll see 5 or 6 items that I consider to be major items. And that way you have an idea going into the course what exactly is most needed from me in order to do well in this class. And so in this particular course, you'll see App-Led 125, Summer 2024, Welding and T10 syllabus right here. And then the first major assignment due in a couple of weeks. That's a rough draft of a resume assignment. And you'll notice if you click on that, gives you an option to start the assignment right here. You would press that button if you're ready to submit something. But there's a lot of content and info describing for you what you need to do and what you need to think about. There's even a video. This particular video I made myself. It's not perfect. I don't think that I'm ever going to become a great YouTuber, but I put these out there for the sake of the students. I want students to feel supported, even if you're not seeing me or working with me in person. You kind of know what to do. And not kind of know, you should exactly know what to do. Okay, here's what she wants. Here's the spot where I submit the assignment. Here's some information about the assignment. Here's a couple of videos for me to see, that type of thing. So you can check out those videos. I definitely recommend. One was made by me. One is just posted on YouTube, but I do think it's a good, helpful video. You would start the assignment, and then it gives you an option to upload the file. I tell students to stick with files that are typically like Word-based. Those are the best. If you do use like Google Docs, let's say, you can share through Google. In a worst case scenario, always email me. Always email the instructor just in case of a worst case scenario. I do offer options for students who are taking me online. If they're taking a class of mine online, I offer options so that students could do some things on paper if they need to. Major assignments, I do need you to be able to eventually access Canvas and upload those. If you're in a situation where, like, Miss Wilson, I don't have a computer at home, I don't have a device, I've got a cell phone, or I share a cell phone with my girlfriend, or I don't have, I don't have access to much. I try to always offer alternatives. So look for a special delivery during that first week of school to whatever program you're in. I typically will deliver a few folders that have printed copies of everything that's major from the home screen of Canvas printed for you so you can see it. And then if you need to like pencil things out on the side or do it in another format and you're having a hard time with Canvas, you still could get access to the content. Okay, so look for that during week 1 of any quarter from me. I typically will make special deliveries to programs. Okay, so if you were to start clicking on any of these files, for example, this first file, if you were to click on it, you would be able to see the course syllabus here. Here it is. This is a specific syllabus for a specific course. This is for the summer online course for T10 students as well as welding. Here's a bunch of information about the course. Notice that there are highlights. That typically means it's important for you to see. So email address for the instructors, the first thing I've highlighted. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Online course, but be prepared for mock interview. Anything you see, anytime an instructor anywhere highlights something or puts it in bold or puts it in caps, that's a hint. You need to pay attention to it, okay? So you can take a look at the information that's here. There's no textbook required for this class, for example. I do my best as an instructor to go textbook less if I can, or either to identify a text that's going to be super low cost to the students. I don't want app-led courses, which are courses that are being taken in addition to program main courses, I don't want those to be costly. We do have requirements from the state of Washington that students are required to take additional math, additional English and writing types of classes, communication classes. So many of the applet classes that you are taking are required to meet certain outcomes as per the state of Washington, let's say, and at other levels. But we don't want them to be costly. We don't want them to be something that's going to really hurt your wallet, okay? So this is general content that you'll see on any syllabus, SCC abilities, outcomes, general things that we expect students to learn in any of our college classes, not necessarily specific to this course, but just general things we want students to be learning. And then if you scroll down further, and you can download this, by the way, so you have an option right here, see how it highlighted. I won't do so, but you could download this document to your computer and print it yourself. Again, just be on the lookout for a special delivery during the first week of school. I will make deliveries of paper copies of things so that students can have those. Attendance and participation, what's expected there. I tell students to move down in any syllabus that I design, move down to the last page where it's talking about grades. That's the bottom line, right? Is grades and how do I succeed in this type of class. Special note from the instructor, I take anything that's a 96% or higher and put a 4.0 in the transcript. I love, 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 love to give good grades. I can't just freely give out good grades when students don't participate or don't do their best. But many students, if you were to ask if any students have had Jenny as an instructor before, they'll say, I worked hard, I did the assignments, but I got a good grade at the very end. I got a 4.0, I got a 3.9. You know, she made it easy for me to be able to do the work. And then she told me how to make my stuff better if it wasn't quite what she wanted. And then I fixed it. And then she gave me the full points. That type of thing. That's how I grade these types of classes. Participation, sincere participation, giving it a good effort. And then if it's not quite what I want, not quite good enough, I'll mark it for you and let you know, and still always give you, as well as any other student, the opportunity to fix it, make it a little better, turn it back into me one more time, okay? Type of thing. Like it's not over until it's over type of thing with grades. I'm happy to consider things all the way until finals week if a student were to come to me and they've made some changes. They need to have been participating, not just MIA for an entire quarter, but if they've been participating, been doing work, and then they took the work, they got an 80 something on it or a 70 something or even a 60 something on it, and they looked at my comments and made it better, I'll change the grade. That's how I am. I want this to be a helpful class. I want you to do well in life. I want you to have an easier go of it than I've had as far as trying to get out on the employment market and apply for jobs and feel like you know what you're doing. I didn't have any instructors at the university who taught this type of course, so I'm excited to get the opportunity to teach it, to help students improve, especially your documents. Remember, I'm an English teacher, so I love to just read carefully, make things better, make it look nice on the page, make it accessible, make it easy to understand. Most employers won't care if you have each of your commas in the right place or if everything is capitalized correctly. I care, and I will make it look that perfect for you, or help you to make it look that perfect. Rather, I'll mark everything that I see, and it does make a difference holistically. For example, if you were to say that you're applying at Travis Pattern and Foundry, and you capitalize the word Travis but lowercase Pattern and Foundry, and that's what their full employment name is, right? Like the name of the employer, or Lynch Northwest, and you only capitalize one word and not the others. It looks bad. It looks like you didn't take the time to look at, well, what is our actual company name, and do we use capital letters here for our company name and things like that. So stuff like that I'll notice, right? And I'll mark those things for you to make it look grammatically beautiful. In addition to content wise, is this everything an employer needs to see to be able to make sense of what your work history is or your school history is without having met you yet, type of thing. Okay, so enough about that. Graded assignments for the class, you'll see this on any syllabus I teach. And I highlight, again, important statements. I list major grades first. So 200 points is usually a major grade. 300 points is major grade, followed by smaller sets of points, okay? So take note of those. I think that perhaps the back page of the syllabus is the most important in my classes anyway. Like, what's the grade breakdown? What assignments do I need to do, or does the student need to do to do well in this class? So again, home screen, first thing you'll see listed in any class that I teach is the syllabus. In this case, first major assignment that's due. Today is July 1st. This assignment's due in 2 weeks, and it's a rough draft of a resume. It doesn't have to be perfect, but there's lots of instructions there. There's an additional handout that goes with it. Requirements for your resume. Again, if you click on that submission box, it's going to have some information for you. It's going to have a little video. But then here's also a sheet, like an actual like handout, a sheet with specific instructions on it. Here's what you need to do for each section. This is like section by section, drawing out what needs to happen and what you need to design. Here's the grading criteria, just so that you can kind of see like, well, how is it being categorized as far as points? But you'll see consistencies here. Like, you're not going to see anything weird. What's on the assignment sheet handout, the requirements handout versus what I put in the video, they're going to be consistent with each other. They're going to overlap. Okay. I think it's worth looking at both. Look at the written assignment sheet, but also just listen to the video. I try to keep my videos to 15 minutes or less so that students could even potentially just audio listen as they're driving to campus or something like that. You just play it on your phone and listen to it as you're driving down the road. Don't be looking at the screen as you're driving, please. But you could listen in a commute time or something like that. Keep it simple, or during a lunch hour. Here's the final submission box. And so again, I always list major assignments right on the front page of Canvas. This will grow just a little bit, not much in this case. In this case, a resume, a cover letter, and a final mock interview are the main assignments for this class. So there's a resume listed here. There's the mock information about the mock interview. No video yet, but just some information looking ahead. That's not due till the end of the quarter in August, but that way students have an idea of like, what are the big picture items I need to do for this class. This one does still need to have a cover letter assignment sheet added so that students can go ahead and see that. But for example, you could click on this mock job interview assignment sheet. Here's a 1-pager. Maybe sometimes it's a 2-pager. I try to keep assignment sheets short enough. There's a lot of words, but short enough that you can get through it. This is a 1-pager. Okay, you could look through this hopefully in 10 minutes or less and have an idea of what is expected for the final interview. Here's a sample of a student's interview from the past. And it's 1 page as well, whereas you could download this, look at it. This is an actual student interview example from a previous quarter. It's a good example of common interview questions, etc. Right? And then so that's here. You could take a look at common questions that were asked. And this was one that actually was designed. It was quite a few quarters ago, but it was actually designed to test students. I don't ever guarantee that our final interviews for this particular quarter or for any subsequent quarters would be exactly the same, but it's just giving you an idea, okay? Last thing I will tell students is for classes that require quizzes, this particular class does not. There's no quizzes for employment prep. Some classes do have quizzes, but you could look on the left for that option. But I tell students you got a grades column. There's no grades in here yet, but once there are, you would be able to see those there. Discussion forums I use for online classes. And again, I try to keep it simple. You'll see the discussion for each week. It's going to correspond with common interview questions. So if you look at the sample student interview sheet with common interview questions, you'll see those questions popping up in the discussion forums as this particular quarter goes along. Notice again, tell us a little bit about yourself. It's a common job interview question, but I've got some instructions for you. I've got it broken down into things that you don't need to talk about. Notice I've just got a little opening paragraph here. Don't share too much in a deeply personal way. We don't need to know how many cats you have or how many kids you have, etc. Share about your professional self as much as possible is the opening advice. And then here's some little bullet points further down. Make sure you mention your program at SCC. I've had students interview before, and when they opened up and told about themselves, they didn't mention anything about Toyota T10. And I'm like, well, if you're in the Toyota T10 program, which is a really specific and intensive program, make sure you at least mention it. It's somewhere in your opening. And so now I'm a student at SCC. I'm almost finished with this degree, and I'm looking forward to that career that, what's it's going to hold for me. Some kind of a statement needs to be in there indicating that you're a student at SCC and indicating your program. But yeah, here's some bullet points, and you'll see this on any discussion forum I post, that there's an opening paragraph typically. Sometimes there'll be an opening video, opening paragraph, giving you an idea of what to do for this assignment, and then bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Here's what I want you to make sure you write about, and the purpose of writing is not to waste time, but this is a real job interview question. And so the act of typing it out, or if you do choose to just handwrite something, if that's easier for you, that's going to help you to think through it so that when you're actually in the hot seat on a real interview, you're more prepared. Okay. So in order to respond to the discussion forum, I'm not truly a student here, but you would just hit this reply button at the bottom. It opens up a space. You can start typing. I tell students it might be a good idea if you're doing this online to just type in a Word document or type on some other type of format. When you're ready to hit reply, and then you just copy and paste from somewhere else where you've already saved it. And that way you know that you've got that answer saved somewhere forever and ever and ever. You'll have access to this always as long as the class is open. So whatever discussion forums and the responses you type out and respond to, you'll have access to it for the entire quarter. But once Canvas closes, you won't have access to it anymore. So I tell students, some of these questions are like, in fact, all of them are real job interview questions. If you come up with what you think is a good answer, save it somewhere else so that maybe the next time you really do have an interview the night before, you kind of got like a list of some nice answers you typed about yourself ahead of time and thought about ahead of time, just to kind of read through and refresh yourself like, oh yeah, I need to make sure that I say this and this and this for my next interview. Okay. If you have listened this far, thank you for doing so. I'm going to stop the screen share. But again, I really try hard to keep Canvas super simple. You'll see that there's reminders over on the side of things that are major, that are due. You'll see those on a to-do list. But homepage, big assignments, big important things, like don't miss it. Those are always listed right here. You'll also see these reminders if something is coming up due. And then also just check the discussions section, check the quizzes section. This particular course, again, employment prep does not have quizzes, but look over on the side just in case any of that is posted. But in this case, we do have discussions. Okay. And for assignments, you should still see assignment boxes. Like if I had clicked on assignments rather than the home screen, you still would see this popping up, if that makes sense. Okay. If there's any questions or if there's any needs or if there's any trouble accessing Canvas, please do not hesitate to email me. I don't check my office phone as often as I should. I check it about twice a week. And so I want to make sure that students know if you leave me a voicemail at my office, I will get to it eventually. It just might not be same day service, but emails I check pretty darn frequently. Not instantaneously, but at least 3 or 4 times a day, I'm checking emails. Okay. So look for responses from me. If you do need anything, just send an email. Also look for me to make an appearance or 2 or 3 or 5 in person. I feel like students learn best in person. There's definitely been impacts to the structure of a lot of things on many college campuses, post-COVID, right? Post-COVID crisis. But I make an effort. If there is a way and students are on ground somewhere on our campus, I make an effort to try to come by at least once a week so that students can see I'm a real person, can interact with me if they need to. I am available on Zoom if students have questions about assignments or whatever, even if it's like a weekend or something, message me and I'm happy to set something up on Zoom where we could just chit chat for a few minutes and talk about an assignment or whatever. If you'd rather do that in person, again, I typically make myself available at least once a week. Even if I'm working another job, I'll do that during the summer months. Thank you for listening. I really look forward to working with you. I'm excited to have you in class. I'm excited to meet you in person. I wish I'd had an employment preparation class. I wish I had had some soft skills training classes when I was going through my college years. I've worked in a lot of other industries, not just English. Teaching English doesn't pay so well in many cases, and there aren't always just open jobs available. So I've worked in a lot of different industries in my lifetime prior to going to college and even since going to college. Learning the soft skills that you need to be able to perform well on an interview and to be able to make your application materials look really nice to start with, it's going to help you. It's going to help you start getting better opportunities, hopefully offers for jobs that pay better than what you're currently making right now. And companies that are going to treat you better than maybe how you're currently being treated right now. So that's my hope for you, that you'll have a happier work life as a result of taking this course. Thanks for listening. If you've listened this far, let others know that I've sent out a video, and I look forward to seeing you online as well as hopefully in person in the near future. Have a great day and a great week and a great summer. Bye-bye.